Thank you. I want to start off by saying that I really appreciate the diversity of perspectives that are being represented in our discussion today. I wouldn't be surprised if we are the most diverse state legislature in the entire country. And I think we truly benefit from this diversity of perspectives. And I think that it was one of the fundamental principles underlying affirmative action, to ensure the richness of debate, of conversations, especially of public conversations, by having such a broad range of perspectives being represented. I want to join my colleagues in acknowledging the moment that we're at right now. I think recent events have clearly shown that the coronavirus has had a disproportionate impact on Black and brown communities. The murder of George Floyd and other young Black men has clearly showed that we still live in a racist and a sexist society. And I would agree with all of my colleagues who have talked about how race still matters, gender still matters, and that we need to acknowledge this reality by openly considering, rather than pretending that we live in a colorblind and gender-neutral society, that we do need to openly consider race and gender. But I want to make sure that all voices are heard in this debate, and I believe that there are voices in the Asian American community that have not been done justice in our conversation thus far. And so I want to raise a voice for many, not all, because the Asian American community is extremely diverse, but I want to make sure that their voices are heard in this debate. Asian Americans, even during this coronavirus pandemic, we have experienced racism. We have been attacked, the victims of more hate crimes, because of our president that calls this the Wuhan virus, the Chinese virus, that a Japanese guy like me is getting attacked or at risk of being attacked because in the eyes of so many Americans, we all look the same. This is just the latest example of how Asian Americans are not immune from racism here and now. And of course, Asian American women are just as much victims of sexism, if not more. And so that is the reason why the majority of Asian Americans support affirmative action. But we support affirmative action at the same time. We want to make sure that it's done in a way that doesn't discriminate against Asian Americans, that doesn't unfairly limit or exclude members of our community in the practice of affirmative action. Asian Americans are diverse. At the risk of engaging in stereotypes, we have wealthy recent immigrants from China. We have fourth-generation Japanese Americans living in middle-class suburbs. We have college-educated Koreans and South Asian immigrants working in grocery stores.
30 seconds.
And yet, the one thing that brings all Asian Americans together is the importance of education as the ticket for our children to achieve the American dream. There is a widely held perception among many Asians that we have to work harder and get better grades and higher test scores to get into the most competitive schools in our country. And that perception continues to have some support in the data that I've received recently from the University of California. I mean, admission rates for all groups have dropped because the applications have dramatically increased in the past 25 years, ever since Prop 209 passed.
Please conclude.
But the bottom line is this, is that Asian Americans, just like anyone else, we are seeking equal opportunity. We want to be treated fairly. Affirmative action, if done right, it is to promote equal opportunity and diversity for all. And so I look forward to working with all of you to not only support the repeal of Proposition 209, but to make sure that affirmative action works for all communities and that does not unfairly discriminate against any one community. Thank you.